We're here at the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, Michigan. I'm Jim Houston.
And I'm Craig Simpson.
Welcome to the fourth game of the Western Conference semifinal between the Detroit Red Wings and the St. Louis Blues. Detroit can't afford any mistakes here tonight. A loss at home and it's all over.
Well, this team has to keep it simple. They can't get caught up in the bigger picture. Jim, I know it's a cliche, but they really do have to take it one game at a time.
Here's a look at tonight's official.
Jim, he is one of the tougher officials in the league. Players know they can't take liberties when he's calling the game. He calls things tight and isn't afraid to call penalties when it comes to dirty stick work.
Datsuk wins the faceoff. Ponger rips a shot, intercepted in the slot. Legacy covers up for the whistle.
Now that was a big hit, folks. He just barrels right through him with a tremendous hit.
They're getting ready for the faceoff. The faceoff goes to Detroit. Out of their defensive end. Over the blue line. Shove. Fires it! Lalime made the brilliant save.
Jim, he cannot believe his eyes. He had that one already up on the scoreboard, only to find the goalie to make a great save.
We're ready for the faceoff. The faceoff goes to the Red Wings. He gets checked by Tkachuk. Brings it out. Over the line. Pumped off the puck. Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. He gets hit.
He put him in his place with a strong hit.
Out of their defensive end. Over the blue line. Checked.
These checks keep everyone on their toes, Jim.
Skating through center ice. Datsuk shoots the puck. Blocked. Over the line. He gets hit by Lidstrom.
Great contact.
St. Louis Blues are on a line change. A lateral pass. In over the line. Into the attacking zone. Mowed down.
A devastating hit.
Out of their defensive end. Over the blue line. Brings it out. Passed up to the neutral zone. Offside, Detroit. Now it's time to meet the starting goaltenders for this game. The action's about to start. Face-off won by Draper. Zetterberg shoves him over the line. In front. Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Right in front. Draper, weak shot. Brings it out. In over the line. Hatcher pushes him.
Jim, that was a major league bump.
Through center. Over the blue line. Howitzer! Just wide of the net. Tkachuk. Out of their defensive end. St. Louis Blues are on a line change. Pushed off the puck.
I could feel that one from here.
Zetterberg grabbed it. Draper grabbed it. Into the attacking zone. Shoots! Brings it out. In over the line.
Hit! There's some physical play.
Pass to head. Brings it out. Over the blue line. He gets leveled by Salvador. Out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. Checked.
He took a solid check there.
Brings it out. In over the line. Lidstrom. He scores, and it's 1-0. They say more than 50% of scored goals come from one-timers.
Well, you can add another one to the list.
Detroit has moved out in front.
This is their game, no doubt about it. Let's see if their defense can match their scoring ability.
Run over.
That looked like trouble.
Over the blue line. He gets out-muscled by Havanov. Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Knocked over.
Talk about a headache.
Out of their defensive end. Over the line. Shove. In front. One-times it. Lalim turns him away. He freezes the puck. Have a look at the starting lineup for the Detroit Red Wings. The ref is ready to drop the puck. The faceoff goes to St. Louis. He gets shoved by Moores. Brings it out. In over the line. Right in front. Leveled. Legacy covers up. And here's the lineup the Blues will start in this game. The ref is signaling for the faceoff. And the faceoff is won by Datsuk. Out of their defensive end. Over the line. Laid out.
Another hit like that and sparks will fly.
Brings it out. Over the blue line. He gets pushed by Hull. Played over. Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. The ref indicates a delayed call against St. Louis. Salvador will get the gate for hooking. You can see that the coach isn't very happy about this call at all. Detroit will try and take advantage of a penalty here.
Well, we haven't seen the power play yet tonight, but we know they're going to be a handful.
They've got great skill in that first unit. Laline hangs on for the whistle. Dave Lewis has had some big shoes to fill in Detroit.
Well, Jim, it takes a lot to follow in the footsteps of the winningest coach in NHL history. But Lewis has held his own. He led the Wings to the President's Trophy in 2003-2004 campaign.
In over the line. He gets taken out by Havanov.
Excellent physical play.
Round the back. Shanahan. Blocked by Havanov. Over, out of their defensive end. Over the blue line. Shove. Johnson. Right in front. Legacy reached out for the puck. Brings it out. Over the line. Shove. Hard shot. Brilliant save. Pronger. Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Cranked him.
You can hear that one up here.
Given away by Dandino. Kachuk knocked over.
He couldn't avoid that one.
Over the blue line. Right in front. Laline stoned him cold. In over the line. Turned aside by Legacy. Brings it out. Over the line. He gets checked by Havanov.
He caught him square on that one.
Out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. Shoots! Blocked. Over the blue line. Detroit is 0 for 1 with the man advantage as the penalty expires. Moved ahead by Pronger. Pushed. Right in front. Delayed penalty call for Detroit. Schneider is going off for hooking. St. Louis is about to go on the power play for the first time in this game.
Jim, they've got some good finishers in their lineup, but they like to keep it simple. Point shots with lots of traffic in front.
In over the line. Just wide of the net. Brings it out. Over the line. Wrist shot by Waite. Blocked. Sent flying.
That was a throwdown.
Shoots. Legacy denies him. Shove. Detroit is under relentless pressure. Into the attacking zone. Waite, wrist shot. Huge save by Legacy. They're getting ready for the faceoff. Red Wings win the faceoff. Bumped by Waite. Kachuk. Moved ahead. Out of their defensive end. Over the blue line. Turned away by Lalim. Brings it out. In over the line. Rubbed off the puck. Moved up. Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Draper gets pushed. Passed across. Out of their defensive end. Over the blue line. Drake. Laid out.
A smackdown.
Right in front. Legacy made the huge save. Given away by Yzerman. Knocked over.
He stamped that one.
Crushed.
That'll keep him honest.
Over the line. Kachuk. Saved by Legacy. Played across. Brings it out. In over the line. He gets hit by Salvador. A delayed penalty call against Detroit. And out they come with a puck. Into the attacking zone. Shove. Datsuk will go to the box for hooking. St. Louis will get a second chance on the power play here. Face-off won by Yzerman. Shove. Shoots it. Legacy turns it away. Brings it out. Over the blue line. Bowled over.
It's getting rough out there.
Played up. Over the line. Drake gets roughed up.
Man, that was a jarring hit.
In over the line. He gets leveled by Jackman. Drake brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Sent flying.
He got clocked that time.
Brings it out. Over the blue line. Over the line. He gets laid out by Yzerman. Drake controls the puck. Schneider grabbed it. He gets bowled over by Lidstrom. In over the line. A shot from the slot by Draper. Brings it out. Laid out.
He lands a hard one. Hit. That's showing authority.
Out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. Brings it out. Over the line. He gets out-muscled by Lidstrom. Brings it out. Over the blue line. Centers it. A shot from the slot by Draper. Leveled.
A great job of stepping up.
Out of their defensive end. St. Louis is now 0 for 2 of the power play. Blocked. Moved over. Into the attacking zone. He gets hit by McInnes.
Great hustle.
Sillinger gets called for hooking. And the faceoff is won by Datsuk. Played back. In front. Stick save by Lalime. Brings it out. In over the line. Lidstrom shoves him right in front. Crushed.
That was a big league body check.
Goes behind the net. Pad saved by Legacy. He hangs on. Watch how quickly this guy gets down in this butterfly.
Well, Jim, he just dares shooters to go 5-hole, then takes it away at the last second. He's lightning quick with his pads.
Face-off won by Datsuk. Out of their defensive end. Knocked down.
Let's see how he responds to that.
Over the line. Taken out.
It's getting pretty intense down there.
Into the attacking zone. Brings it out. In over the line. Played over by Hull. Brings it out. Over the blue line. A shot from the slot by Kachuk. Blocked out of their defensive end. And time winds down as the first period comes to an end with the score 1-0. A very lively first period. Now we're set for more in period 2. About to drop the puck. And the faceoff is won by Datsuk. Over the line. Brings it out. In over the line. Bumped by Hull. Shanahan. Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Datsuk gets bumped off the puck. Passed over. Out of their defensive end. Over the line. Kachuk shoots it. The shot is blocked by Lidstrom. Sent flying. Brings it out. In over the line. Mowed down. Brings it out. Over the blue line. Kachuk. Legacy turned the shot away. Into the attacking zone. He gets hit by Sillinger. Smoked. Out of their defensive end. Over the line. Mowed down. Moved ahead. Brings it out. In over the line. Pushed. Mellenby. Over the blue line. He gets checked by Chelios.
That'll give him some room.
Into the attacking zone. He gets rocked by Havanoff. St. Louis Blues are on a line change. Wade cranks it. Legacy makes the huge save. Brings it out. Over the line. He gets rocked up by Mellenby.
He unloads a big hit.
Brings it out. In over the line. Laid out. Over the blue line. Knocked over. Advances the puck. Out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. Brings it out. Over the line. Draper gets checked. Brings it out. St. Louis makes a line change. Draper, Detroit makes a line change. Zetterberg with a wrist shot. Shot blocked by Havanoff. Played out of their defensive end. Over the blue line. Legacy makes the save. Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Bowled over. Brings it out. Over the line. He gets hit by Lidstrom.
He really got his man there.
Out of their defensive end. In over the line. Brings it out.
How did he pull that off?
Shove. In front. Hard wrist shot by Kachuk. Legacy covers up for the whistle.
He'll be getting up and looking for the number of that truck.
The players are lining up at the face-off circle. The face-off goes to the Red Wings. Passed over. And out they come with a puck. Over the blue line. Knocked him off the puck. Advances the puck. Right in front. Lalim gets a leg on it. Brings it out. In over the line. Wrist shot by Rycroft. Stick save. Played back. Legacy made the save. Pass back. In front. Great glove. Moved across. Out of their defensive end. Over the line. He gets worked over by Weinrich. Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. He gets hit by Devereaux.
He got worked over on that one.
In over the line. Over. Brings it out. Over the blue line. Pass to the point. In front. He gets bowled over by Mowers. Over the line. Shot from the wing by Holmstrom. Brings it out. Shove. Flattened. Into the attacking zone. Brings it out. Over the blue line. He gets laid out by Mowers. Passed over. Out of their defensive end. Over the line. Hit. In over the line. In front. He gets leveled by Havanoff.
Stopped him dead in his tracks.
Into the attacking zone. Knocked down. Brings it out. Over the blue line. Out of their defensive end. In over the line. Sent flying. Lewis makes the line change. Brings it out. Over the line. Brings it out. Over the blue line. In front. Out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. Crushed. Brings it out. Over the line. Hard wrist shot by Waite. Legacy turned him away. In over the line. Maltby gets hit. That shook him up. McCarty. In front. Laline made the save. Round the back. Right in front. Huge save. Passed across. Brings it out. Over the blue line. Out of their defensive end. In over the line. Moved over. Brings it out. End to end. Mellenby. It's passed over by Shanahan. Brings it out. Over the line. Shove. Centers it. One-time shot from beside the net. He scores, and it's 2-0.
He stepped into that shot big time. Put it past the goalie.
The one-timer is hockey's quick strike, and he hammered that one home. Detroit now with a 2-goal lead late in the second.
They need to stay focused, though. A 2-goal lead doesn't give you the right to take a shift off.
Woolley mows him down.
Stopped him cold.
Out of their defensive end. Over the blue line. Checked in front. Laline hangs on for the whistle. Now, just because he hasn't been a head coach before doesn't mean this guy hasn't been around the game for a long, long time.
No, Jim, Mike Kitchen spent 9 seasons as part of the Toronto Maple Leafs coaching staff before he joined the Blues as an assistant coach in 1998.
In over the line. He gets out-muscled by Schneider. Shoots the puck. Lidstrom blocks the shot. Brings it out. Over the line. Havanoff pushes him. Right in front. Gigantic save. Out of their defensive end. Over the blue line. Crashed. Over. In front. Laid out. Sent flying. And that ends the second period. It's 2-0 as we take a break. They've dug themselves a hole after 40 minutes of action, but a comeback isn't out of the question as we get ready for the start of the third. Face-off won by Datsuk. Into the attacking zone. Detroit will be sending a man to the dressing room after that play.
Well, with any luck, he'll be all right.
Let's hope so.
Hit!
Wrist shot. Legacy shuts the door. Conger looks like he got him clean.
I'd have to agree, Jim. Plenty of contact there, but nothing dirty. Sometimes it's just a matter of bad luck.
Or bad timing. Yzerman won the draw. He knocked him off the puck. Brings it out. Over the line. Run over. Brings it out. End to end. Right in front. Goaltender stopped that. Played across. Out of their defensive end. Across. Checked. Shoots quickly. Laline stabbed at it. Moved ahead. Brings it out. Over the blue line. It's played over by Mellenby. Waite grabbed it. In front. Legacy with a big save. Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. He gets run over by Salvador. Passed across. Hit. Over the line. He gets shoved by Schneider. McInnes shoots the puck. Saved by Legacy. Brings it out. Over the blue line. Salvador knocked him off the puck. Johnson out of their defensive end. Detroit puts its third line out. Moved up, in over the line. He gets taken out by Draper. Advances the puck. Brings it out, up through center. Into the attacking zone. Crushed.
He got laid out.
Brings it up. Over the line. He gets hit by Woolley.
A little intimidation there.
Muscled off the puck. In over the line. Out of their defensive end. Over the blue line. He gets checked. Quick pass up. Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Thomas now has the puck. The crowd's upset. No penalty call. Fires! Tkachuk grabbed it. Brings it out. St. Louis puts its second line out. Out of their defensive end. He gets pushed by Savage. He gets laid out by Boganecki. Lidstrom fires it hard. Pad save. Sent flying.
He really slammed into him there.
Over center. The Red Wings are offside.
Jim, this is an emotional game, but right now the coach has to be feeling the heat for that missed call.
And you can see the reason for his argument. The puck is about to be dropped. Yzerman wins the faceoff. Pushed off the puck. Crushed. Tkachuk over the blue line. Over the line. He gets hit by Jackman. It's moved across by Mellenby. Brings it out. In over the line.
There's one to remember.
Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Over the blue line. Moved ahead by Lidstrom. Out of their defensive end. Over the line. Yzerman gets muscled off the puck. Brings it out. In over the line. In front. Brings it out. Over the blue line. Thrashed. Out of their defensive end. Over the line. Leveled. Holmstrom brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Quick puck movement. Played over, brings it out. Over the blue line. Shove. Out of their defensive end. In over the line. Saved by Lalim. Brings it out. It's passed across by Havanov. Checked. Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Shove. Cranked him. Out of their defensive end. Over the line. Shoots the puck. Blocked by Devereaux. Right in front. Legacy makes the pad save. Brings it out. Over the blue line. Passed across by Devereaux. Lalim made the huge save. Tkachuk will get the gate for interference.
He'll get 2 minutes for that, and I tell you, it'll seem a lot longer to him.
Detroit will go on the power play once again. They weren't able to capitalize on their first power play. Let's see if they can do it here. Yzerman on the draw. Lalim stones him cold. Tremendous save. He covers up. Weinrich really jumps into the play well. I haven't seen him get caught pinching yet.
Well, he anticipates where the play is moving so well, and he adjusts to make the most of his opportunity.
They're getting ready for the faceoff. Johnson wins the faceoff. Leveled. Fires it. Lalim makes the glove save. What really impresses me about this guy is how quick he gets across the crease.
Well, he likes to stand tall in there, and that makes it easy to get post to post.
We're ready for the faceoff. Johnson won the draw. He gets rocked by Yzerman.
Sent him flying.
Mowed down. Brings it up. In over the line. Legacy made the save. Out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. Brings it out. Over the blue line.
He still doesn't know where he went. Great deep.
He hangs on. Detroit has done a great job avoiding penalties.
Well, you want to stick up for yourself, but you don't want to cost your team. They're playing smart hockey, and it shows on the scoreboard.
Johnson wins the faceoff. Goes behind the net. Stick save by Legacy. They've looked. Shot. Big glove. He covers up. Detroit really tries to limit the scoring chances, and they do a pretty good job at that. They're a very responsible team in their own end.
Jim, I'd say discipline is their key. You rarely see them out of position, and they always seem to be between you and their goal.
The faceoff goes to the Blues. Pass to the point. Johnson scores! It's a short-handed marker.
When they say timing is everything, that is what they mean.
Detroit slipped up on that play.
Jim, they've played some good hockey. So do they have enough in the tank to hold on for the win?
Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. In front. He gets checked by Lidstrom. One-time shot. Turned aside by Legacy. Hit. Brings it out. In over the line. Right in front. In front. These two guys are going to settle things the old-fashioned way.
The tensions have boiled over between these two, Jim. A nice effort with the fist. He came out the loser.
Definitely, but he showed up for his little dance, and that's the important part. The action's about to start. The faceoff goes to the Red Wings. Kachuk quickly jumps on the ice, and his return gives his team a power play. Over the blue line. Great save by Legacy. Knocked over. Across. Out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. Thrashed. Shoots it hard. Scores!
The power play was brilliant on that goal. They cashed in big time on that one.
They couldn't keep it out, and this game is tied.
They need something to regain momentum. Even a block shot or a big hit would do it.
Over the line. He gets hit by Havanoff. A lateral pass. In over the line. Big hit. Brings it out. Over the blue line. Centering pass by Hatcher. Right in front. Laline stabs at it. In the corner. St. Louis Blues are on a line change. He gets shouldered by Hatcher. Hull into the attacking zone. He gets taken out by Salvador. Mellenby brings it out. Rocked. Brings it out. Detroit puts its checking line out. Over the line.
That's a big-time deep.
Bowled over. Johnson out of their defensive end. Checked. In over the line. He gets pushed by Weinrich. Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Wrist shot by Salvador. Legacy made the save. The ref is ready to drop the puck. And the faceoff is won by Yzerman. Brings it out. Over the line. Maltby with a wrist shot. He misses. Moved across. Out of their defensive end. Moved over by Kachuk. Laid out. Played across. Brings it out. In over the line. Wait controls the puck. Into the attacking zone. Knocked down.
You could feel the impact up here.
Mellenby shoots the puck. Brings it out. Over the blue line.
Neither side could put it away in regulation, so we're off to overtime.
Regulation ended in a tie, so we're headed to overtime.
Time for the go-to guys to get to it.
The players are lined up and ready for the face-off. The face-off goes to the Red Wings. And out they come with a puck. Over the line. Shoved. In front. Legacy denies him. Brings it out. In over the line. Zetterberg. Wrist shot. Laline made the save. Brings it out. Over the blue line. Woolley in all alone. Scramble. Quick shot. Goes behind his net. It's given away by Tkachuk out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. Knocked down. It's turned over by Hatcher. Draper grabbed it. Brings it out. He gets rocked up by Weinrich.
Now that was big time.
Over the line. Shoved.
He's a bit stunned after that one.
Brings it out. Over the blue line. Shoved. Rocked behind the net. In over the line. He gets checked by Lidstrom.
Great timing and great power.
Rubbed off the puck. Sena moves it ahead. Right in front. Denied by Legacy. Rink wide pass. Into the attacking zone. In front. Laline hangs on for the whistle.
He is one of the best body checkers in the league, and you can see how he explodes through that check.
They're getting ready for the face-off. Face-off won by Yzerman. Sent flying. Brings it out. Over the blue line. He gets laid out by Chelios. Out of their defensive end. In over the line. Mellenby knocks the puck loose. Over the line. Run over. Goes behind his net. Circling the net. Legacy freezes the puck. About to drop the puck. And the faceoff is won by Sillinger. Havanov now with the puck. Legacy hangs on for the whistle.
Jim, this rivalry's really starting to heat up. These two teams are getting physical, and it looks like they don't like each other too much.
The ref is signaling for the faceoff. Red Wings win the faceoff. Brings it out. Up through center. In over the line. Over. Rink wide pass. Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Advances the puck. Goaltender stopped that. St. Louis puts its third line out. Hit. Crashed. It's played across by Yzerman. Lalime shut the door. Over the line. Crushed. Passed over. Over the blue line. He gets hit by Sena.
Thumped him that time.
He gets rocked by Weinrich.
He got his man on that hit.
In over the line. Legacy made the brilliant save. Played across. Brings it out. Checked. Into the attacking zone. He gets hit by Salvador. Moved ahead. Over the line. Johnson with a wrist shot. In front. Legacy with a stick save.
turned away.
Brings it out. The goalie comes out of his net to fetch the puck. Lalin went long. Over the blue line. Wrist shot by Waite. Blocked. Brings it out. In over the line. Lalin turns it aside. Mellenby. St. Louis Blues are on a line change. He gets out-muscled by Dandino. Mowers out of their defensive end. Detroit makes the line change. Checked. Long pass. Into the attacking zone. He gets leveled by Woolley. Legacy covers up for the whistle.
Jim, I think he's stunned. He made a perfect shot and can't believe that the goalie stopped it.
The players are lining up at the face-off circle. Yzerman on the draw. Rocked.
You've got to keep your head up.
Over the line. Level. Brings it out. Over the blue line. Hard wrist shot by Drake. Legacy got a pad on it. And he hangs on to the puck. The puck is about to be dropped. Face-off won by Yzerman. Brings it up. In over the line. Shove. Kachuk out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. Cranked him.
I wouldn't want to be him right now.
Pass to him. Over the line. He gets checked by Salvador.
He's unstoppable.
Over the blue line. Shove. Across. Legacy denies him. Brings it out. In over the line. In front. Scores off the post. It's all over now. St. Louis has lost it and sees their lead drop to 2 games. Wow, what a wristery uncorked on that goal.
That was an absolute laser beam that found the back of the net.
From the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, Michigan, I'm Jim Hewson.
And I'm Craig Simpson. Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time.
You